YouTube, it's MarkClarkk. I got 9 tips to improve your movement in Warzone, and I promise you will get better throughout this video. Whether you're a 3 or 4 or 5 KD player, I promise you you're going to learn something all the way down to if you're a beginner. Watch this through and through. I really hope you guys enjoy it. Worked hard on it. Let's get right into it. All right, for tip number 1, we're in the settings. I know this is kind of boring, but if you guys don't have this set, you might as well not watch the rest of the video. There's a couple settings in here that I really want to emphasize. Make sure you guys have these on. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. We got tactical sprint assist. Make sure it's on tactical sprint assist, and then put the delay all the way down to 0. The default's at 400, which is ridiculous. Makes the game feel really clunky. Turn this to 0. Sideways, backwards, sprint assist, turn those on. Mantle assist off. Crouch assist off. Corner slice on. This is a preference setting. Slide dive behavior. Turn this to hybrid. If you guys don't have this on hybrid and you play Warzone, you guys play Rebirth, Big Map, Ranked play, whatever it is, if you guys still aren't playing on hybrid, you're completely missing out. I promise you this changes the game as far as movement goes. Basically makes it so you can slide and dive all with one setting, which both of those are very important. We're going to talk about that later in this movement guide, okay? Automatic airborne mantle, turn that off. Sprint restore on. Slide maintain sprint on. Parachute automatic behavior off. Mantle cancel reload on. Movement advanced settings. This one is huge. Okay, you can turn tactical sprint activation, single tap to run. Everything else you can kind of match up here, but grounded mantle. With the grounded mantle off, let me show you what this looks like. If I run up to little ledges like this, it is just so dang clunky. I think we've all been in like trying to run away from an enemy and trying to get into a window, and you just like can't get up through the window, and it's mad frustrating. Turn this on. It basically, like, watch how it changes the game with this ledge right here. Controller, advanced settings, grounded mantle on. It basically makes it so you can glide over the ledge. All I'm doing is just pressing my jump button right when I get there. If you guys don't have this on still, turn it on. It makes you fly around the map. It helps you evade from enemies really well if you're trying to escape, or if you're trying to track somebody down. You're jumping over ledges a lot faster. It's easier to track people down when you got them one shot. Make sure that's on. All right, the last thing we're gonna talk about here is dead zones. Before we get into the actual fun stuff of this video, make sure you have these changed, okay? We talked about the right stick in our last aim guide, but the left stick is what we're talking about here since it's your movement stick. Put the left stick minimum as low as you can possibly get without getting stick drift. As simple as that. The left stick max, this is the one you guys don't have changed. A lot of you guys play at 99 or 100, and basically what this means is there's just a lot of travel time to get to max speed or to get to your actual tac sprint here. There's a lot of travel time in your left stick to get that. We want to lower that outer ring so we can basically just get there quicker. I play at 77. Kind of find a setting that works for you. If you want to start at 77, I know people that play at 65. Whatever works for you, I play at 77. And basically what this means is I can get to my max speed or to my sprint just a little bit quicker. It's going to help the game feel a little bit smoother, a little bit snappier, and it's really going to help you with these tips we have coming up. Let's get into it. Movement tip number 2 is the slide cancel. Much like the settings, if you do not learn this in the intricacies of the slide cancel, you might as well not move on to the rest of the video. Might as well not watch any other videos about movement. Learn the slide cancel. Maybe you're new to Call of Duty, or maybe you've been here for a while. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about the slide cancel so we can integrate it into more advanced movements. Okay, so what is the slide cancel? It is, now that you have your settings set, sprint, slide, and then stand up to cancel it. Okay, simple as that. Sprint, slide, stand up. If you're new to the game, this is how you slide cancel. Sprint, slide, and stand up. Okay, now let's talk a little bit more about the slide cancel and what we can do with it. Now, understand that you can do different lengths of slide cancel. This is going to become extremely important when we talk about pacing later in this video. But basically, you can sprint, you can let the slide drag out, or you can cancel it really quickly. Do a quick slide, or I can do a very long slide. And this basically helps you around chowing around corners, shouldering, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But basically what I'm saying is, I'm starting right here. I don't want to slide and then like run into this wall before I aim in, right? Maybe I want to do a short slide. So I'm just going to cancel it a little bit sooner. Okay. Which is basically standing up. Okay. Whenever I say cancel a slide, it's just standing up. Let's not make this more difficult than it needs to be. You're sliding and you're standing up to cancel it. Okay. So understand there's different lengths of the slide. And then with BO6 movement, you can now slide in any which direction you want. I can slide to my right. I can slide to my left. I can slide backwards. Okay. So this is all extremely important things to understand about the slide cancel. Now let's get a little bit more in depth. All right, now that slide canceling and the basics are out of the way, let's actually get into some fun stuff. I'm gonna give you guys 2 new ways to challenge people. The first one, and tip number 3, is called the jump slide. And all the jump slide is you're jumping, ADS, and sliding. And what this is gonna do is not only does it allow your gun to be up at all times, so like we're ready to fire, we're not challenging corners, you know, just like hip firing or anything. We can jump, let the momentum from the jump take us, and we are perfectly ADS. So what I would do in this scenario, or like how I would use this, like let's say there's somebody around this corner. I know there's somebody back in here. Instead of just slide canceling and popping out right here, I'm going to let this jump slide take my momentum all the way across this archway and make me a very hard target to hit. So this is what it would look like. So as you can see, I get a lot more space and a lot more separation, a lot more movement across my enemy screen by hitting the jump slide. Now, you can also do this off of big ledges like this. Hit the slide at the bottom. So let's say there's somebody around this corner. I know they're going to be challenging me. Maybe they're running away right here. They go around that corner. We want to challenge them on this side. Hit the jump slide, and our gun is up, ready to go. Or an extremely hard target to hit. I found myself using this all the time, especially in Warzone ranked play. Try this out, the jump slide, but make sure the most important component of this is actually to be ADS. That way you're ready to fire. There is no ADS time needed. Like, you are ready to rock. You're letting the jump momentum take you across an opening or an area, and you're breaking your opponent's cameras by doing this. Hit the jump slide, challenge your opponents with it, try it out, let me know what you think. All right, so the second new way you're gonna start challenging people, we just learned the jump slide, but tip number 4 is the drop slide, okay? So all you're gonna do for this is you're gonna sprint, and then you're gonna hold the slide button while you ADS, okay? You're gonna sprint and hold the slide button. This is what makes this tip so effective, because it's so easy to execute, but it is also so effective to use on your enemies. I also use this in ranked play all the time to challenge enemies. Let's say my opponent's standing right here, and I'm behind this box right here. I wanna challenge to the left, and instead of doing, you know, a basic slide cancel, or maybe I just don't want to do a jump slide this time, now I'm going to try the drop slide, and all that's going to look like is this. It's going to lay me down at the end of that, and it looks really funky. It's kind of a weird animation. I'm going to go into theater mode right now and show you exactly what that looks like. Here's what it looks like from your enemy's perspective. As you can see, it just gives you a really funky animation coming around the corner. All right, so as you can see there, it's pretty funky looking from the enemy's perspective. Let's take this one step further. Let's imagine there's an enemy right over here, and instead of hitting the jump slide on him, which we'd be popping out right here like we're Mario or something, we'd hit the drop slide on him. We'd challenge him low like that, and from your enemy's perspective, his centering is probably right around this head glitch. You'd be popping around the corner right down here, and he's probably dead, right? So the point being is, try the jump slide, try the drop slide, and I really want you guys to try these in your gunfights, and it's okay to die. Like, that's something I want you guys to understand. It's perfectly okay to die. Try these out, mess up countless of times, because once you get the hang of this, once you get the feel for it and the button combinations, it's going to become second nature to you. You're going to start challenging people like you've never challenged people before. You're going to start piecing these things as part of your movement arsenal. That's going to make you a much tougher kill and going to make you much more effective in your gunfights. All right, tip number 5 is something that's been around the game for a long time, and this is snaking. If you guys don't understand snaking, you're going to learn it today, and I promise you, you're not going to be challenging things the same. Snaking is a very broken mechanic, I will warn you, but listen, if you're not using it, your opponents are. Let's talk about it. Let's go up to this ledge right here, and all we're going to do is snake over here, and what that is laying down and then clicking my left stick in to sprint forward, and then laying down again. So basically rotating this between sprinting, laying down, sprinting, laying down, sprinting, laying down. And what this is doing is basically allowing me to gather information from what's on the other side of this head glitch without showing a lot of my body, or really at all. Let's go into theater mode so I can show you just how broken this is. All right, we popped over here to theater mode so I can show you just how broken snaking actually is. As you can see, my character model is snaking. I can see the line of sight right in front of me of people coming up that ramp. But if I go to third person mode, my head is never really eclipsing this wall. So you can't see me on the other side over here, which is freaky, because if I go right back to first person mode, I can clearly see in front of me. So this is what I'm saying. It is so unbelievably broken. Once again, if I go to the third person mode, I'm going to start shooting here in a second. But if I'm like on this ramp, I can barely see the character model on the other side of this wall. And look, I have free visual on anybody coming up this ramp. Super broken mechanic. Learn snaking. I know it's broken, but if you guys don't learn it, other people will use it on you. So I'm here to share that with you. Movement tip number 6 is shouldering. And this is by far one of my favorite movement tips to explain, because if you haven't implemented this into your gameplay, but you do it today, which is very easy to implement, you will become a better Warzone player. And that's why I get so excited sharing this. A lot of you guys haven't used it before, or maybe you're not using it correctly. Let's talk about shouldering. Think of shouldering as gathering info. It's just another word for gathering info. It's extremely important in any FPS, especially CoD, to gather info on where your enemy is. Let's say we don't know where our enemy is down the line over here. Instead of sliding out and probably getting blasted by any which direction, all we're going to do is shoulder. So what is shouldering? It's using your character model's shoulders and popping them out to the side and just gathering info. Okay, using your camera to kind of figure out where the heck is the enemy over there. Let's say we don't know an enemy's on this head glitch, but if we shouldered, instead of just popping around the corner like this, like a lot of you guys do, if we ran up to this cover and we shouldered, we would have found out he's there, and then we can chow appropriately and maybe hit him with the slide cancel. Maybe we pop over to this cover because we know that's an insane chow. He's on an insane head glitch. We're going to pop on over to our own head glitch and then chow it like that, right? Shouldering is just gathering info. Once again, you can just pop out by throwing your shoulder like this. It's the most basic way, very effective. But let me give you guys 2 other ways that I like to shoulder. Another way is to hit the slide cancel. We learned about slide canceling. Hit the slide cancel right around the corner and then pop back to cover. Okay, use the slide cancel, pop back to cover. Another way is use the dive to cover. As you're diving to cover, we're looking across the open to see where the heck is the enemy. This is obviously making you an incredibly hard target to hit as you dive. They might hit you for, you know, a plate or two, but at least you understand where the enemy was, whereas before you had no clue, right? Let me show you an in-game example of how we're going to use shouldering and why it's so effective in Warzone. All right, we dropped in here into a game of Warzone. I want to show you exactly how effective shouldering is in Warzone. It's not just off the initial fight and gathering info and finding out where our enemy is. What happens when we know the enemy's there? Like, let's say this guy pops around the corner right here, shoots me, I'm damaged. What am I gonna do from here, okay? Most of you guys are going around this corner, you're plating up, and you are laying down right here, okay? And you are just plating up, or you're hiding around this corner, plating up. From now on, I want you guys to start shouldering while plating up. And that is the main point about this video. The guy just ran by. Main point about this tip is shoulder while you're plating. Shoulder while you're still damaged. Okay, so if somebody comes around this corner, shoots me, I am going to start running away, plating up, and then try to figure out where he is. Okay, and that's going to tell me, is he staying back there by the doors? Is he actually pushing me? Maybe I can catch him in the open while he pushes me. I can YY to cancel my plates and then actually chow him while he's right out in the open and maybe not expecting it. Plate up and shoulder at the same time. That's how you're going to use it in Warzone, and that's what's going to make this tip so effective. All right, tip number 7 is on tempo. I love talking about this because I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, and also only the high level players really implement this into their gameplay. And this is something that you can definitely use, but you're probably not doing it. So what do I mean by tempo? When I say tempo, I want you to think about 2 things. First one is mixing speeds in your movement. Second thing is being unpredictable and a hard kill. Okay, so what exactly does that mean? Like, how can I actually implement this, Mark? Let's say there's a guy on the head glitch right here. Let's go ahead and mix in a few of the things that we've learned today, piece them, package them together, and help us work on this tip of tempo. Okay, first one, we're going to shoulder. We're going to find out this guy is on the head glitch. Once we found out he's on the head glitch, maybe we pop back. Maybe we do a drop slide. Okay, after we drop slide, we pop back to cover. Maybe move forward. Okay, we're mixing up space, mixing up our tempo, mixing up our speeds. Then we do jump, and we do a jump slide. Okay, so we're mixing those 3 components all into one to really mix up our tempo and confuse our enemy. So first one, again, a little bit quicker. Shouldering, pop back over here. Maybe I drop slide, pop back to cover, move up here, jump slide, and then chow again. Okay, nothing too crazy, but once you get the effectiveness of all these moves and you're able to package them sort of together, that's how you're gonna mix up your tempo, and it is such an effective skill to use in game. Now, tempo doesn't have to be as complicated as combining multiple moves. It can literally be like shoulder, shoulder, slide, shoulder out here, slide back. And the important part is not to make this too complicated. We're gonna get into that next, but don't make this too complicated, but also mixing up your tempo as long as you're under control is such an effective way to kill your enemy. Let me drive this home with one more point in this next part. Now, I come from a sports background, so this is the easiest way I can explain it to you guys, and I really hope this makes sense because it does in my head. But I want you guys to think of yourself on the map as a point guard in the NBA. We got Kyrie Irving here, and watch how he mixes speeds and mixing his tempo, as well as combining moves together to become an impossible guard for the defenders, right? It might seem flashy on the outside, but these are moves he's practiced countless of times. Like, you guys need to be improving and practicing your moves countless of times. And look how unpredictable he is in mixing his tempo. That's how I want you guys to be on the map. Tip number 8, we're almost there. We're almost done. If you guys have made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to see me implement these tips live on stream, I'm probably live right now playing some ranked play. Kick.com/MarkClarkk. Hopefully see you guys over there. We're live there pretty much every night. Let's get into tip number 8, which is keep it simple. This one's so important. It sounds stupid, but this one has really played into my journey of becoming a better COD player. I used to watch so many tip videos. I still do. I watch players that are far better than me. I take notes. I try to learn from them, and then I try to implement all these things into my gameplay at once, and it just doesn't work. Okay, it's not gonna work for me. It's not gonna work for you. It's not gonna work from this video. Don't take everything you've learned from this video. It is a lot for some people, especially if you're new to the game. It's a little bit overwhelming. Don't try to take all these things and implement them straight away. Let's say you only have 1 or 2 hours, okay? I'm a dad. I get it. You guys have full-time jobs. You guys are busy. You only have an hour or two to play. Maybe just implement, not maybe, do only implement one thing you learned from this video in your session for that day. So let's say today I only want to work on, I only have 2 hours to play, 1 hour to play. I'm only going to work on my shouldering while I'm playing Warzone today. Don't waste it in here in a private match. It does help, but like, and you can shoot bots. But if you guys only have an hour or two to play, I want you guys to keep playing and like have fun and play with your buddies and improve on your PRs and stuff, right? But keep it simple. Take one thing with you into that session and work on it, okay? So let's say you only have an hour to play. Use shouldering for that whole entire hour and really work on shouldering while you're playing, okay? The next session, maybe you want to work on the jump chows or the drop, you know, the slide drops, right? Work on one thing, keep it simple. And this is really just movement overall, right? In movement, people try to complicate things so much. They try to YY, spin, like do crazy moves. It's really not that at all. Keep things simple, keep things under control, and you'll have much better success in your gunfights in Warzone. All right, movement tip number 9, the very last one. Once again, thanks for making it this far. This is what I like to call the dive glide. I don't know if there's an actual name for it, but this is what I like doing. It's basically diving over objects and keeping your momentum, okay? So if I were to go over this object, dive, I'd keep my momentum going rather than running up, jumping over and mantling this. Look how much faster it is to do the dive glide, okay? Obviously, it's not the most effective tip ever, and you don't need to practice this one. This is something just addition and fun. Like, you know, we just talked about keeping it simple. This is something like maybe you knew all these tips and you want to add something to your arsenal. You want to take something to the next level. This helps you evade fights. It is, you know, very effective for certain scenarios. But I do this all the time just for the heck of it because I love it and I think it's fun. Okay, so if you want to learn it just for that simple fact, do it. All it is basically going up to any object. Like I said, I do this all over Verdansk while I'm doing ranked play. Go up to an object, dive, and then keep your momentum going forward. So you're gonna have to find out the feel for it. As you can see, I got kind of stuck right there, but the feel for it is dive, and then you kind of like look back. I found like if you look back a little bit, you can kind of like hit the corner of things better if you're, you know, if your hands or like if your chest is right there. So a good way to think of it is like trying to dive and then hit the corner or like the edge of objects, like literally just scraping the edge of the objects with your chest almost. So like I can run up to an object, dive and like look to it and then keep going. And this is basically going to keep my momentum going over certain objects. Obviously I mistimed it right there, but if I do it right here, look over, I'm going to keep my momentum going rather than like mantling over this thing or mantling over this ledge. I'm going to keep my momentum going by doing the dive glide, and you kind of just like seamlessly run through. So this really helps evading certain situations or maybe chasing people down, and just something fun you can mix into your arsenal. There you have it. Everything I know about movement compiled into one guide for you guys. If you guys haven't checked out our aiming guide, definitely do so. I'll link that down below. I've always said this, my number one goal is just to share every single thing I've learned about Call of Duty with you guys. I've learned a lot of things. I have countless of notes in my phone from my own gameplay and trying to get better myself. And for the first time ever, I'm literally just trying to give you guys all that information. I'm not the best talker. I know I'm a big yapper, but hopefully I've done a good job, and hopefully you guys have learned something new today. Once again, we're always live on Kick every single night, practicing these tips that we shared with you guys today. Hopefully you guys join us over there, kick.com/MarkClarkk. And if not, man, I hope you guys just enjoy our videos and enjoy the YouTube channel here, man. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you guys next time.